Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another hot episode of a very special podcast. This is the podcast in which we talk about all of your favorite TV series from yesteryear and then discuss them over a glass of holiday cheer. I'm your boy, Patrick M. Dunn, and I'm joined here, as always, by my mall Santa, Kat Halstead, the author. Welcome back, girl. Ho, ho, ho.
What the fuck?
I was trying to tie it into the episode. I couldn't think of anything, so I was like, there's a mall Santa in it.
Is this because you, just woke up?
I would have been like this anyway, you know that. I could have been up for 6 hours. I know, role reversal. Usually I'm dragging Kat out of bed, but today I overslept. Kat's got a meeting in 2 hours. She's like, we gotta get through this really quick.
I mean, I actually do. I have a grocery pickup in an hour and a half.
Your croutons can wait a few minutes. They're not gonna spoil. She's giving me that look. Actually, she's giving her phone that look. She's saying, hey, I'll be late, guys. Kroger's, I'll be late.
Oh my goodness.
It's Christmas time. We've been battling through Christmas. It's Holly Jolly month. Is that what we call these episodes? We still don't know.
A Holly Jolly Jamboree.
Ooh, I like that. An HJJ. An HJ Jamboree. That sounds kind of dirty, though, if you think about it.
See, this is why I don't do group podcasts with you.
With the rest of the Salty Rock universe?
Yeah, because you get dirty.
Yeah. It's...
And they encourage it, and it gets, really gross and uncomfortable, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm out. Not happening.
You know what? I am getting better. I am slowly getting better. You gotta admit it.
Considering what you just said, I don't think so.
I mean, something will creep out every now and then, but I'm trying to, after you got accused of being, cult leaders and, brainwashing, fans and using the F word a lot, I'm trying to scale back. I'm trying to. You know what?
I mean, I've already cursed once.
Yeah, that is true. And I did make, a slight handjob reference, so.
Yeah. Here's
to 2021. We'll be better people. We'll be much better people. But you know what? It's been a crazy year.
It has.
Devilish of a year. So, you know, let's just let the negative energy flow through us for a little bit longer. Holly Jolly Jamboree. We're here.
Yes, Holly Jolly Jamboree.
We're here to cheer. And we're here to hang out with Claire. Because what are we doing today?
We are doing the recent television classic, Modern Family.
Yes, which just ended this year, 2020, right? The show just ended.
Yeah.
So the show was on for 11 years, from 2009 to 2020.
Yeah.
Decent run, respectable run. I didn't realize it was on that long. It feels like the 2010s are a blur. It feels like it's only been on for 4 years. I watched the show in its first season, and it was kind of a slow build for me. I didn't hate it, but I didn't absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
And... I loved Jay and Gloria's family. I loved Cam and Mitchell's family, but I just really did not like the Dunphys for the longest time.
Really?
They just kind of irked me. Near the end of the season, I'm like, you know what? That's their charm. And so I started to like it. And then the season ended, and then I just never went back and watched the second season. I just forgot about it.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't watch the show in the first season. I didn't watch it until season 3 or 4, whenever it hit syndication.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
And then it was on all the time, because Modern Family and The Middle both started the same year, and they both hit syndication at the same time. And it was if Modern Family wasn't on, The Middle was on. And it was multiple channels. You couldn't escape either show all of a sudden.
2009 was a comeback year for ABC, because they had a lot of hits that kind of started this year. Cougar Town kind of hit this year, competing with the comedies that CBS and NBC had.
Which, can we be real? The CBS sitcoms are very different than the NBC sitcoms, which are very different from the ABC sitcoms. You're not going to find the same sort of thing on each network. They all have very distinct personalities.
Yeah, and I think NBC this is that era, they had lost Friends and some of their big power players, and they were trying to find new things. And I think we're in this is that time zone where The Office was kind of cooking. They had 30 Rock. I'm pretty sure Parks and Recreations was on this point. Maybe Community. So I think they kind of had their own little niche.
Yeah, that's pretty much when I stopped watching NBC sitcoms.
And CBS had their traditional multicam setups. And then ABC just they took a note from NBC. But for a majority, most of theirs were family centric. They just kind of focused around families or a cul-de-sac, as we'll get to in a little bit. I want to point out something wild. So, I had, as I said, I had stopped watching Modern Family after the season. And, like, in my mind, like, the kids never aged. So when I looked at a picture of, like, the final season, like, all the kids were grown up, I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that. Like, in my mind, I figured they'd still be exactly the same for some reason. Especially Manny. I just thought Manny, for some reason, would never age. I want to throw something out. He was always my favorite character on this show. Like, I usually hate child characters, but he was just great in the show. Like, he was like a small adult.
No, he always had that, like, grown-up kind of sense, except, like, for that whole, like, he had that weird crush on Haley.
Like, because I think in this episode, we'll get to it, Manny, like, is hoping to get, like, a burgundy-colored, like, bathrobe, for like, terry cloth bathrobe for Christmas. And I was just like, that's so Manny.
It's not even terry cloth, it's like a smoking jacket. He wants a smoking jacket. He wants, like, a Hugh Hefner robe.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's classic Manny. You know what, I could just see him sitting in his room chilling in his robe, I don't know, like, reading, like, a book for adults. Reading a book about, like, politics or something.
Yeah.
The intricacies of the American government. I don't know, he's, like, just trying to learn. Before we get into the wild-ass world of Modern Family, do you want to dip into this night, this particular era, December 9th, 2009?
Yes.
We're going to the early days of Modern Family. This is a season 1 episode, so it's 2009. So, were you in Minnesota yet? Were you in the tundra?
No, I was in Durango.
Ooh, Durango Unchained.
What? No, stop. That's a stupid joke to make, you idiot.
I'm getting the look again. All right.
Not funny.
What were you doing in Durango at this time?
I was the manager of the t-shirt shop.
Doing those press-on t-shirts, like someone wants this as a graphic on their shirt, that kind of thing?
That sort of thing, yeah.
The Joneses go to Disney, and, you know, they want all the matching tees and stuff like that, or...
Kind of thing, yeah.
Bachelorette party shirts. I love it. With, like, a wine glass on it.
Yes, that kind of stuff.
I love it. I'm trying to think. I think I was working at the bank at this time, just being miserable on a daily basis, just dealing with horrible customers, and I don't know, just wishing that one day I'd be talking about TV on the internet. And we're getting close. We're almost there.
Yeah, like...
Instead of just talking about our horrible lives, do you want to talk about what was going on in this world? In entertainment?
Yeah, what was going on in 2009?
All right, this is, I usually always say this is a hot night of television, but I'm just kind of like, it's all right.
Okay.
There's like a few hot set pieces here, but a lot of it's just, I feel like this is a bad year for TV for some reason. I think, like, for ABC was good, but we're, like, coming off the writer's strike, I think, like, the previous year, so.
No, the writer's strike was 2 years before.
Oh, I thought it was 2008 for some reason. I don't know.
It was 2007, 2008.
Oh, yeah, so we're late 2009, so, like, yeah, never mind. Ignore me. But
yeah, you're...
I don't know. I feel like TV is just in a dark place right now for some reason. Just nothing really exciting. Like, Lost is still on, and I think, like, everyone wants, like, another, like, sci-fi hit.
I'm looking at the 2009, 2010 shows, and there's some, like, the stuff that I think I liked back then was stuff that did not start that year for the most part. Like, I don't think this was... Yeah, like, you had Desperate Housewives and Brothers and Sisters.
Yeah, and, I don't know. Was Heroes still on? I was probably watching that.
Doesn't look like it. Oh, no, it was. I'm actually, like, looking, and there are, like, How I Met Your Mother, Rules of Engagement, 2.5 Men, Big Bang Theory, like, Gossip Girl.
Yeah, there's things that have been on for a few years. Supernatural was, like, thriving.
Like, I'm looking at the stuff that was new that year, and it's just, it was the year we got the Melrose Place reboot.
Yeah, so then that means the 90210 reboot thing was still on the air. So I was definitely watching that, I'll tell you that. I watched every episode of that thing.
Yeah, like, this is not a good year of, like, there's nothing that's... Oh god, Flash Forward was this year.
Ooh, you know, I love that show. I was, like, down for that every
week.
It. And it just kind of, like, I knew it was not going to last, and then I was really hoping they could just give some kind of ending, just so I could just live with my life. And they just kind of, like, ended on a cliffhanger. And
major cliffhanger. I'm not over it.
ABC, that was an ABC show, right?
There is very little... Like, there's a lot of new stuff, and I did not watch, like, anything new this year except for, like, the Melrose Place reboot.
I think this was the year when, like Netflix started streaming things, started, like, the streaming capabilities, like, really boomed, so I actually, like, went back and started catching up on things I had never seen before. I think this was that year.
Like, I remember, this is definitely around the time you'd get a DVD and you would just watch those episodes over and over again.
Oh, yeah. I think I was, like, super into watching Arrested Development over and over again around this time. Like, I was just like, I want more! more.
I definitely watched How I Met Your Mother multiple times on DVD back then.
You know, I think this is when I discovered How I Met Your Mother, because I think this is the year it hit syndication, so I was like watching that a lot. I think I was still watching Seinfeld every night at 11:30 before I went to bed. I really got into Family Feud this year, I think. I think this is the year I like super got into Family Feud. I think this was like a big Steve Harvey year. And you know what? And like Wheel of Fortune. I used to watch Wheel of Fortune all the time too. I just try to guess the words. But you want to zero in on one particular night, Wednesday, December 9th?
Yeah, let's go to this particular night. Okay.
We're going to go to this lukewarm night of television. All right. You want to start off with our friends at ABC?
Yeah, what's happening on ABC this night?
All right, things kick off at 8 o'clock with a 30-minute special, Shrek the Halls.
Oh, I love Shrek the Halls.
I got a hot take.
I love it.
Go on. You can do yours and I'll give you mine.
Well, because, okay, so it's like they invade Shrek because, like, that's what all these guys do. They always, like, just invade Shrek's personal space. But there's this part with Puss in Boots where he gets, like, distracted by, like, an ornament or something, and he just, like, he gets the big kitty cat, wide eyes, and he's pawing at it, and it's just so cute.
Okay. You know what? I've never seen this, because my hot take is I never liked Shrek. It just never clicked for me for some reason. Mm-hmm. Never really got into it. Everyone would always talk about it and quote it, and I don't know, talk about all its endless sequels, and I just like, I don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't think Donkey's funny. I don't know. But then again, I'm not a fan of that like CGI style animation. I like Toy Story, and that's about it.
Okay, I get it.
All right, coming up at ABC at 8:30, it's The Middle. Your fave with Patricia Heaton and the janitor from Scrubs and Sue Heck.
Oh, I love that show.
What's the name of the Brick? Is that the really young kid, Brick?
Yeah, Brick is the young one, and then Axel is the oldest.
Tonight episode of The Middle, Mike takes over the responsibility of organizing the Heck family Christmas, while Frankie practices for a solo that she is singing in at the midnight mass. You know this one?
Vaguely.
I'm sure, like, Mike just destroyed the house trying to, like, get all the decorations up and stuff and did it wrong.
Like, I don't think he really, like, did much to do anything, and then, like, Frankie's like, you didn't do any of the stuff you were supposed to do.
I feel like he put those Christmas-like candles in the window, and that was it, and just like, all right, good enough.
It's like, oh, we don't need a tree, we're good.
Or, you know, he just, they probably have, like, a tabletop tree in, like, the attic, and he didn't feel like decorating, like, the large one, and just threw that on the kitchen counter, right next to the toaster oven. Mm-hmm. It was like, good enough.
Yep.
You ready for ABC 9 o'clock? Modern Family, the show that we're going to do. We'll get to it. And then ABC 9:30, my favorite show of the season, speaking of like the only show that I probably watch. I know you're not a fan of it. Cougar Town.
It's not a good show in my opinion, but
I don't know. It started off kind of shaky, but it kind of like shaped up over the years. But tonight episode guest stars Scott Foley. He plays a wealthy man who tries to get Jules' attention by feigning interest in an overpriced home in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And I believe like they're like a couple for like 3 or 4 episodes. He's in it for like a few weeks. This might be the first one that breaks like Courtney Cox dating younger men, like super younger men. This is like her dating someone like a little bit closer to her age. Okay. And hot scoop, this is the first time that Scott Foley and Courtney Cox has been on screens together since Scream 3. I wonder if he recognized her without the bangs. I wonder if he's like, who are you? I don't know you without those bangs.
Damn Roman.
All right. ABC 10 o'clock. Tonight. You ready? This is exciting.
What could it be?
All right. Barbara Walters presents the 10 most fascinating people of 2009.
Oh my gosh.
And I got the list.
Oh, who is it? Because there's no way I will ever guess.
I looked at this list and I'm like, really? Like, this is the most fascinating people of 2009? Because I'm going to say the names. And you just tell me, like, say yay or nay. And I feel like it's going to be a lot of nays. Okay. And probably like a few, like, who? Glenn Beck.
Okay, I get it.
Like, what was he doing this year? Like, what? It's like, this is a good year for him?
This is when he had his show on Fox News.
Yep.
It was on at, like, 5 p.m. Eastern or something like that. And he is just, like, this is when he was, like, really ramping up before like the whole like explosion of like the Tea Party stuff, and before he ended up leaving Fox News and going and starting his own.
All right, you ready for the next name?
Yeah.
I can already predict a nay right here. Lady Gaga.
Ugh.
This is definitely a big year for her. I think this is like the song that sounds like "Express Yourself" by Madonna, like that Born This Way, that's it. I was trying to think of the name of it.
Lady Gaga is just a Madonna wannabe. That's all she is. So all you Lady Gaga fans need to just stop, like...
But she writes her own music.
Shitting on Madonna, because if there was no Madonna, there would be no Lady Gaga, because there'd be nobody for Lady Gaga to copy.
Yeah, she'd be copying, I don't know, who is it? Tell it to your heart. She'd be copying her. What's her name? Taylor Dane.
Okay, I'm like, I can't.
Can you imagine, like a Taylor Dane, like, copycat running around in 2020?
No.
I don't even know what this guy was doing in 2009. Brett Favre.
This might have been when he was retiring, not retiring or whatever from the Vikings.
I don't even know. Like, who knows? When was the last time you, like, actually heard that name? Like, I feel like it was way before 09.
Probably 2009.
Really? I don't know. Maybe I was just, like, separated from that world. Who knows?
From the football world? Yes, Patrick. You were definitely not paying attention, Mr. Hey, there's a major playoff game at the stadium by my house to go see a movie. That's why I can't find parking.
I know why this name is in the fascinating list of 09, but I'm still going to give it a nay. Kate Gosselin.
I understand why, but yeah.
The next one is two names, but they count it as one because they're children. So, children, like, only count as halves. Paris and Blanket Jackson.
This is the year Michael Jackson died.
Yeah, and we got, like, Paris and Blanket forced upon us. And what are they going to do? And, will Katherine Jackson take them in kind of thing? Like, where are they going to go? Where's the mom? Where's, like, what's her name? Like, Debbie something? Like, Debbie Jackson? I don't even know. Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is, like, Paris Jackson is now, like, a major mess.
We're pulling for you, though. We're pulling for you. And where's Blanket? I don't even, like, does he go by, like, a real name now? I don't even know.
I have no idea.
Like, was that his name? Like, was his actual name Blanket? I don't know.
No, I think that's what it was. You know how I feel about Michael Jackson, so.
This one I get, Adam Lambert.
I remember meeting, like, an Adam Lambert fangirl. That was, like, this old lady.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to throw this out there. I don't know a single Adam Lambert song. I couldn't tell you one. I just know the Queen covers he does. That's it.
In all honesty, barely even remember him from his appearances on Glee.
Oh, I didn't even know he was on Glee. We got a few more names. We'll go through these real quick. Michelle Obama. She probably was wearing that, like, showing her shoulders this year. Who knows? I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Sarah Palin. Whoa. Blast from the past.
Yeah, okay, moving on.
Yeah, we were getting, like, I Can See Russia from My House impressions by Tina Fey on SNL.
Because this is, like, peak Palin.
What was the year that, like, Sarah Palin's daughter's boyfriend, like, was, like, revived Playgirl? Like, wasn't that, like, this time? Like, what the hell was that all about?
I don't know.
All right, we got two more names. Tyler Perry's House of Pain and all that stuff.
I feel like this is probably right around that sweet spot where he was, like, really bursting out with Medea stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw this out there. A lot of people, like, shun those movies, but, like, low-key, I kind of dig them. Like, I think I've seen, like, all of them from, like, the early 2000s till, like, 2015, I think is when I finally stopped watching them. But, I don't know. They just have, like, a heart to them that I enjoy. Like, they're kind of, like, wacky and quirky, but then there's always, like, some serious aspect of it that just kind of, like, pulls me in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, they might be shutting down a school or something, or Blair Warner's in one. Oh, it's so great. I love it. All right, I got one more name, and I had no idea who this was, and I had to look it up. Jenny Sanford.
Who? Jenny
Sanford. She was the former first lady of the state I live in, South Carolina, and an investment banker. And she divorced her husband, who I guess, like, bought hookers or something all the time, and she's, like, had enough and left. I don't know. I know nothing about her, but Barbara Walters deemed her fascinating enough.
I mean, this is the year she was leaving her husband.
A big fat nay.
Barbara, what? Barbara Walters, honey.
Did she retire like a year later or something? Because I feel like she's just like phoning this year in.
No, I mean, if you even consider her retired, I think she still shows up for these roles.
Do they still do these? I was like thinking about this yesterday when I was making this list.
I think they might.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like this was a big event. Like I remember like in the mid-90s it was like tonight.
Yeah.
The fascinating people of 1995 and like just seeing the names and I was like, oh, wow. And it was like like Marsha Clark and I was like, oh, I can't wait to hear her like take on the year. And I don't know, like by the time like 09 rolled around, I'm like, I don't really care what fucking Sarah Palin has to think about 2009. Like I don't care. It's not, I don't have it in me.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back through like 2009 newspapers.
Oh, they don't.
And like make my own list.
They finished, the last one was in 2015.
Good to know. Because I feel like Barbara Walters is like fully done. Like I thought she just was like, I'm done and left.
No, I think she still does whatever she wants to do.
She might come. They put her name on like the event list with a question mark next to it. Like she might come, but we don't know.
Yeah.
She hasn't RSVP'd yet. All right. You ready to blow through CBS real quick?
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's a night of shows I know but didn't really watch. 8 o'clock, The New Adventures of Old Christine.
Okay.
This was the 5-season wonder starring Gal Pal, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She's divorced from her husband, played by Clark Gregg, who's from like the Marvel stuff, and
Coulson.
Clark Gregg has a I think it's Greg Clark, right? Is it Clark Gregg or Greg Clark? I always get this wrong.
It was not a good show. I'm very surprised it lasted as long as it did.
I think it like hit a good like subsection of America that like kind of liked it maybe, and it was enough. It was good enough for CBS.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, CBS 8:30. I know nothing about the show, but I remember seeing ads for it. Gary Unmarried.
Jay Moore just got like he's getting a divorce or something and trying to like figure out life.
The divorcee is Paula Marshall. They have kids, I think, and they're trying to, I don't know, figure out life. And I don't know, maybe he dates people. Who knows? I miss Sybil. Can't she just come back?
For real.
All right. CBS 9 o'clock. It's an hour of crime. Criminal Minds.
Okay.
Who knows what was going on in that world at this time? Was Mandy Patinkin still on it? Who knows?
Probably.
I don't know like the timetable.
You spend too much time on those unfascinating people.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, move on.
CBS 10 o'clock. CSI New York with Gary Sinise and other people. And I don't know, it's CSI but in New York. And we got CW. You want some CW facts tonight? Your fave, Gossip Girl.
XOXO, Gossip Girl. I was not watching Gossip Girl at the time, though.
This is probably the Taylor Momsen years, maybe.
But like a couple years later, I went through and binge watched the whole thing during its like final season and fell in love with the pairing of Dan and Blair, who belonged together, and then they didn't end up together. And Dan was Gossip Girl. And I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm going to throw this out there. Gossip Girl plays better when you watch it in a binge than when you it's like split week by week. Because then you have time to think about how crazy and stupid it is.
Oh my god, especially that last season. That last season got ridiculous.
All right, CW, 9 o'clock. You ready? You ready for this?
Yeah.
The Victoria's Secret fashion show hosted by Heidi Klum and performances by the Black Eyed Peas.
That is so 2009. Oh my god.
That's all I got to say. And real quick, NBC, we get Law & Order SVU at 9, The Jay Leno Show at 10 o'clock, some show called Mercy at 8 o'clock, which was like a medical drama starring Taylor Schilling and James Vanderbeek as like a chief of staff or something, like a young chief of staff.
Okay, yeah.
I know nothing. I don't even know that show. Couldn't even tell you.
If I watched something, it was Shrek the Hall.
I remember watching Cougar Town because I remember my coworker was like, hey, did you watch Shrek the Hall last night? I was like, no, but I watched Cougar Town and Modern Family. But I skipped Barbara Walters because I saw, like, Glenn Beck, Sarah Palin, Adam Lambert. So, like, nope, not watching this. Not interested tonight. So, on a scale out of 1 out of 5 Shrek Swamps, I'm going to give this, like, a 2. A 2. Maybe even a 1. You know what? I'm going to go for a 1.
I'm giving it a 1.
Yeah, this is a goose egg.
Yeah, it's not, like, a night I would... Like, I don't know, there was something going on this year. I just did not, like, sit down and watch TV, like, at night like this.
I think I was, like, peak Netflix this year, or, like, video games or something. I think I just got, like, an Xbox 360 this year, so I was, like, always doing that. Mm-hmm. Or maybe going to concerts. I think I went to a lot of concerts this year, so maybe I was, like, out seeing some crappy band at some crappy place. All right. You ready to undeck the halls? You ready to cancel Christmas?
Yes.
How does this episode start? How does this crazy, fun, little jaunt of an episode begin?
Okay, so we start off in the Dunphy home, and you've got Claire, Phil, and the kids, like, all wearing these, like, really ugly Christmas sweaters. They look completely, like, uncomfortable and itchy.
Yeah, yeah.
And Phil's trying to set up, like, a video call to talk to his parents and wish them Merry Christmas and show off the sweaters so that they can get the heck out of them and be done.
I guess this is like a tradition, maybe. Like they usually maybe do a family photo of them in their ugly Christmas sweaters and like send it. But now we have this crazy new technology, so now they can watch us live. And we get like clueless grandpa like on the computer. It's great.
Who's just basically got like the top of his head.
Yeah, it's like that top of the forehead thing. And he's telling Phil Dunphy's like telling grandpa, played by Fred Willard, by the way, your boyfriend's like least favorite actor of all time, Fred Willard.
Yes, apparently.
Like, I'm like, who hates Fred Willard? Like, how can you hate Fred Willard? Like, what has he done?
I don't know, but he does, and it confuses me.
I don't know, like, you know, like I see Fred Willard's face, and it just like brings joy and cheer to my life. Like for like those brief moments whenever I see Fred Willard and stuff, I'm like, oh, Fred Willard's in this. Mm-hmm. Like he could be in it for a second, and I'm just like, oh, Fred Willard.
Yeah.
Oh, like TV's Fred Willard. Phil tells him like lower to like mean to like lower the camera, and he just starts like talking in like lower octaves, like a D.
Yes, it's perfect.
We know where Phil gets his like comedic style from.
So, you know, they're trying to like show that they're like a happy little family to, you know, Phil's parents, and like we got your ornament that you sent us. They sent like a glass crystal snowflake or something, and they're like, it's over here on the tree, sparkling in the sunlight, and like Claire's trying to show it off.
Yeah, and they're like turning the camera. You know, you couldn't see it though.
Like Claire's like pointing, it's right here, it's right here.
Claire's such a hot mess.
And then as Claire's like looking back, she sees like a burn mark on the couch, and she just loses it. Like whatever like control she had in front of her in-laws is gone.
Yeah, she's like, is that a cigarette burn? Who's smoking? Who's smoking in the house? Who's doing this?
Freaking out.
Everyone's got that like, what are you talking about kind of look.
They're like, what is happening?
And then like Phil, you know, like Phil was like a little embarrassed. He's like, oh yeah, gotta go, happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, guys, and like just shuts down the computer.
Bye, Dad. We'll talk later. Maybe we could talk to Mom later, since she was in the bathtub at this point.
Lost track of time. She's in the tub.
Or she probably just doesn't like Claire, and she's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I could see that. Do we ever meet the mother-in-law? Can't even tell you.
Googling that right now. I honestly, we never see her.
Is she just kind of like a Vera of the show?
She's not shown. Like, I know it's not very, like, I know there's an episode, like, where she dies, and they go down for the funeral, like, the whole family goes down for the funeral.
I know this is the first episode that Fred Willard appears in, and I love that it's just, like, a weird, like, computer cameo. It's, like, not even actually him being there.
Yeah.
Which is great. But he comes in this season. I think it's, like, a later on episode this season.
Yeah, it's, season where Phil's mother dies, and we never see her.
I wonder if, like, the producers had, like, someone in mind they wanted to play her, and they just, like, couldn't get her.
Yeah.
That's my theory. That's my hot theory. You know what? I gather that, yeah, the mother-in-law hates Claire, because is why maybe when Fred Willard comes and visits, she's like, I ain't going.
She's like, oh, you stole my precious baby boy. And it's like, whatever, lady, whatever. Yeah. So Claire is freaking out, and Phil and Claire are like, you know what? Whoever did it, just like step up. Because Phil's like, I'm going to cancel Christmas. If you guys don't like admit it, I'm going to cancel Christmas. And he starts like, he has a little trouble on the follow through of these wild, ridiculous threats. He starts trying to take the tree because none of the kids are confessing. So he like grabs like the whole tree and starts dragging it out.
Yeah, this must be like the world's lightest Christmas tree because he just like picks it up with one hand and walks away.
I mean, depending on the tree and like if it's real or fake.
It looks fake.
You know, they're not that heavy.
Yeah, but I mean, I loved how like the ornaments just must have been like tied to it, like individually, like attached to it because none of them fell off. Like, not one thing fell off that tree. And he just, like, drags it across the floor out of there with, like, one arm. But he kept doing this thing, like, where he'd stop, and he's like, he was gonna do it, and then he stopped because he was like, he knew someone would say, no, like, I did it.
And none of them did.
I'll give you the count of 3. And he's like, 1, 2, all right. Nobody, last chance for Christmas cheer this year. Claire, like, is speechless. She's just, like, her jaw's on the floor.
Yeah.
Looking at the kids, like, come on, just someone say something, because...
Just, like, whoever did it, just confess.
No one says anything, and, like, then Phil just, like, walks out of the room, and the kids all just, like, look at each other, like, did you do it?
Yeah, like, Claire, like, follows after Phil. The kids are like, I didn't do it. And then they, like, Alex suggests that they all confess to it, so that, like, none of them get in trouble. And they're like, Luke, you go first. You go first, Luke.
I love Alex's line right here. She's like, has anyone seen the movie Spartacus? And then no one says no. It just shows Haley, and then it shows Luke. And then it just goes back to Alex. And then she just explains that plot. Like, we just all confess individually. And then that way they won't know what to do. But that little, like, throwaway line about Spartacus was great. It was like that I am Spartacus kind of thing. I thought that was... It's just crazy to me that Alex would know this.
Well, you know, Alex is like the genius of the family.
That is true. So, and she must be some kind of like a film nerd because she watches like old movies from like the 50s or 60s or whatever.
I feel like that's something like she does with her grandpa, with Jay.
Oh, yeah, because like it kind of blends into Jay's storyline where he's watching Miracle on 34th Street.
Luke goes in first to confess, and as soon as he does, Phil runs out to, like, the backyard to grab the tree. And then, like, the girls come in, and they're like, Luke, you did it? He's like, no, they were all gonna confess. Like, he's like, I take it back, as Phil comes in with the tree, and he's like, and they're like, no, they were all gonna confess. And the parents are like, nope, you're all still in trouble until whoever actually did it confesses.
Yeah, and, like, Claire's kind of making Phil, like, stand with this canceling Christmas thing, because she's like, if you back down from this, then the kids are never going to take your threat seriously. So you need to, like, I think it's shitty that you said that.
Yeah, you can't.
But you have to stand your ground. She's assuming someone's just going to fess up, and then it's, like, all over with. And
I mean, you would think someone would fess up if, like, everybody was going to lose Christmas. So, you know, it's getting a little later, and Alex realizes, like, they're not going to give in unless somebody confesses. And so she comes up with this stupid story that makes no sense about how she found a cigarette at school, brought it home, and, like, just happened to put it too close to the couch.
yeah, she had, like, one puff.
Yeah.
I just want to throw something out there. I feel like if Alex did find a cigarette, she would smoke it outside. Because I feel like you're never going to get that smell out of the house.
Yeah, like...
Even if she did it when no one was home, I feel like the smell would linger for at least, like, an hour or two.
It's not going to get covered up with Febreze that quick, you know what I mean? There's, like...
It's a strong smell, and I don't know, like, where would Claire have gone for, like, a long period of time that would be enough time for Alex to successfully smoke a cigarette and then cover up the smell?
You know, Phil and Claire are like, okay, well, you're going to be grounded for a week, starting December 26th, so you're not going to miss out Christmas. But you're going to miss out on New Year's.
Which, like, what is Alex doing?
Exactly. Like, what is Alex doing for New Year's? She's going to get to stay up late and drink a sip of ginger ale before going to bed?
Yeah. What is she, in, like, 7th or 8th grade? Like, how old is she? I don't really know.
I don't even know.
Does she have friends? Like, I don't even know. Like, what's her story?
Not really. Not really. Like, the older she gets, the less friends she seems to have.
I get major Daria vibes from Alex. Like, I don't know why. There's just, like, a Daria-ness to her.
No, there is. There totally is. You know, they start setting everything back up, and, you know, everything's going good. Like, they've set up the tree exactly how it was, so the ornament is in the same spot.
Yeah, what?
And the family's, like, all in the living room, and the sunlight is coming through the window through this, like, glass crystal ornament, and it's burning a hole in the couch in the exact same spot.
Yeah, and because they're all excited. They're gonna have Christmas, and Claire's like, "What's that smell? What's burning?" And, like, the camera turns and it shows, like, a little smoke coming off the couch, and then you see the little light, like the little magnified light beam, and then Alex is just like, oh, I feel like shit now.
Like, oh, they're like, Alex, why did you confess? She's like, I didn't want anybody to miss out on Christmas. Which is kind of sweet, but still.
Yeah. Cutting back a little bit, though, like, when they first discover the burn hole on the couch, Phil has a really funny line. He's like, he's trying to force the kids to confess, and he's like, I can forgive you for smoking, but I cannot forgive you for lying. And then Claire looks at Phil and he's like, I mean, I can't forgive you for smoking.
You know, I love me some Ty Burrell.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to throw this out there. What else has Ty Burrell been in? I don't know if I've ever seen him in anything else, to be honest with you.
Out of Practice.
Oh, yeah, we've done it. We've done it.
He was the older brother on Out of Practice, which we did, like, last year for Thanksgiving.
Was it last year? It seems like years ago to me.
It wasn't last year, it was the year before.
Okay. Oh, 2018?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, good show. I was thinking about this. Had Out of Practice been a successful series and ran for like 8 or 9 years, we never would have gotten him as Phil Dunphy.
That's true.
Like, who do you think would have been a good Phil Dunphy? Who do you think would have captured the spirit of Phil?
I don't know if anybody could have captured this specific spirit of Phil. Phil would have been a very different character.
Yeah, so maybe the show would have never been a hit. Maybe it never would have caught on, and I don't know. The world would be a different place. Maybe it would have been a darker place. Maybe a brighter place. Who knows?
So that's like basically the Dunphy part of the episode. Because everything is like chopped up into little bits, like go throughout. And it's mockumentary style. So you get the little parts where they sit and talk to the camera.
Yeah. Did we really get that this episode? I didn't feel like we got a lot of that this week.
There's a little bit. Not a lot.
I feel like it happens usually a lot more often in other episodes, but not in this one too much.
Yeah, I don't think they're, like, I think we got most of that from, like, Cam and Mitch.
I'm going to throw this out there. The Dunphy family storyline was my least favorite one of the episode. That's like the one that I was just kind of hoping for them to speed through.
I feel like that was one of the stronger storylines.
Sometimes that family just bothers me for some reason. I don't know.
Okay, let's do Jay, Gloria, Manny.
All right. Okay. My fave. This is like my favorite. This is Gloria and Manny's first Christmas in America is the suggestion.
So it's the first one they're spending in America. They usually go back to Colombia.
How long have Gloria and Jay been married? Like, are they fresh? Is this like a...
They've only been married a few months. So it's the trying to blend the different family traditions kind of thing going on. And there are things that Manny is very set on having done throughout his childhood, and he's really confused as to why Jay's like, that's not how you spend Christmas. Because Jay has like this this idea of like what Christmas with kids is like. It's actually kind of really sweet, but he would do it with Claire and Mitchell, and, he was looking forward to doing the traditions he loved having with them, with Manny, and there's this like conflict between that.
It's probably been like 20 years since Jay last had this Christmas excitement with Claire and Mitchell.
Like, he's maybe been able to do some of this stuff with, like, Claire's kids.
Yeah, but it's probably not the same, though.
Past it. Like, I can totally see Jay having, like, Haley, Alex, and Luke over, and they're watching Miracle on 34th Street together, because that's, like, his favorite Christmas movie.
And Jay has this thing where he gifts everybody like a new set of pajamas, and everyone gets in the pajamas on Christmas Eve, and then they wake up early in the morning and they're all in their Christmas pajamas and they open up presents. And
yeah, you open those at 9:00 at night.
It's like a very set time. I feel like you start Miracle on 34th at 7. It's over by 9. He's switching your pajamas, and then you have some hot cocoa or something.
No, he does it at maybe in the afternoon. It's like in the afternoon. But Manny finds out Jay wants to watch this movie, and he somehow gets a joke copy off the internet. And you're in the middle of this sweet scene when this creepy jump scare thing happens.
Yeah, was this that time when jump scare YouTube videos was a thing? Like you move your face close to the screen, because they'll be
probably
try to find spot the difference kind of thing, but you got to move your face closer. Then I don't know, a character from The Ring pops up on the screen, like Samara, whatever her name is, makes a loud noise, and I don't know, it freaks you out. And because it's a sweet moment at Miracle on 34th. Jay, there's a tear dripping down his eye, and Manny's like, "Are you crying?" And he's like, "Yes, this is an emotional scene, Manny." He's like, I can't believe you're just sitting there stone-faced. Do you have a soul? What's wrong with you, child?"
Manny's all like, "Innocente!" And Jay's like, "What the hell?"
It's the Christmas joke.
What?
It's in Colombia. We learned from Gloria, in Colombia, every year, we play pranks on our family members, and then the person who gets pranked is called the Innocente.
Yes, I looked it up. It's actually December 28th, not Christmas, so it's in that, but yeah.
Shame on the writers for being wrong.
Jay's not a practical jokes kind of guy, though, either. They're like, "Well, what about fireworks?" Manny's like, aren't we going to do fireworks? And Jay's like, "We don't do fireworks for Christmas." But Gloria's like, "But then, the sky lights up and it's beautiful for Christmas." And he's like, "No, guys, no." He's so confused.
The reason why this episode plays out well, though, is because the theme for the episode is kind of Christmas is canceled, but from different aspects of Christmas. It's literal in the Dunphy house, but in Jay's house, it's kind of the culture of Christmas is canceled for each side.
Yeah, what they believe is Christmas isn't there because they're trying to blend stuff, and they can't agree on what to blend in. And Jay's kind of hurt, but Manny's hurt too.
I feel like Manny and Gloria, they wanted to intermingle it, but Jay just was "Fuck you guys." He was being a jerk about it too. He's like, "I don't see goats in the street, so, we're doing it the American way," which is kind of jerky of him.
Jay is kind of a jerk, though. But at the same time, apparently there was, no discussion about, what their Christmas traditions were, what they would do together. at all. And like,
I feel like that would have been a good thing to talk about maybe like Thanksgiving time, maybe at the dinner table, like, hey, what do you guys want to do for Christmas this year? And, Manny and Gloria would talk about their traditions, and then Jay's like, all right, like maybe...
before we get the tree, we should probably pick up the fireworks and be like,
Yeah, like, where are you going to find fireworks on Christmas Eve?
Hey, eventually Jay does find them, because Jay kind of like, they should be blending stuff instead of like, just this way.
Yeah, I feel like Jay probably drove like 2 hours away to the desert. Maybe there was like a gas station that sold fireworks.
Native American reservation that sold them or something.
And so while Jay's gone, while Jay's out trying to find fireworks, Manny is like, you know what? He's talking to his mom, and he's like, you know what I want to get for Christmas for Jay? I just want to like get him his perfect Christmas. I'm just going to do it. He just decides he's going to go for it. And she's like, that's very sweet. You're a very admirable man. Because like he wanted like the burgundy smoker's jacket, but he's like, I'll forego it.
Hugh Hefner smoker's jacket type thing.
I'll forego it just so Jay can get his Americanized Christmas.
No, he doesn't say he'll forgo it. He's like, that better be under the tree.
Oh yeah, like that's the like, you know what? That's the price. That's the price for it.
Yeah, and Gloria's like,
there was one thing that I was a little bit confused about. I don't know if this is real or not, but Gloria says something about how in Colombia it's baby Jesus who delivers Christmas presents and not Santa.
Some children in Latin America receive their Christmas gifts from baby Jesus instead of Santa.
Jay has these like lines, and he's like, well, how do you sit on baby Jesus's lap? You're going to crush him. And then Manny's like, well, how does Santa fit down a chimney? I think baby Jesus is the only one who can fit down a chimney. And then Jay's like, well, how does baby Jesus carry the sack of presents? He barely even knows where his hands are. Eventually, they all come to a compromise, and they decide that they're going to just intermix their Christmases. It's a wild success. And all is well in the Jay and Gloria household. What's their last name? I don't even know their last... Pritchett. All is well in the Pritchett house.
Pritchett.
Fun times. We kind of get this beautiful intermingling of cultures. And there's fireworks, because Jay finds the fireworks at the reservation 2 hours away. And who's lighting off the fireworks? Because they're all outside watching them.
No, I think they're just like the kind you light and you hold the stick and they
run away.
Yeah, it's not like they have like actual guys doing this.
He didn't have that many fireworks. He just had like one bag, and there was a lot of them.
Dude, depending on the size though.
Another thing I was thinking, that would wildly piss off the neighbors too.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what time of night it was, but they probably just put the kids to sleep.
They get the kids to sleep. The kids are all excited about Santa, and then...
it's like a war zone. The kids are like, oh my god, someone's shooting Santa in the sky. What's going on?
Okay, so Cam and Mitch.
Yes. This is great. So they're at the mall.
So very 2009.
Yeah, very 2009. There's a long-ass line to see Santa. And I guess they've been there like since the morning or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they waited until Christmas Eve to do this.
This is a thing that happens on TV, where everyone waits to Christmas Eve to do like everything.
Like, if it was really like that important, like, okay, apparently they searched for the most Christmassy looking Santa because the picture has to be like perfect. And then like they find it and they wait in line all morning on Christmas Eve, which is just stupid. So stupid. Like, you guys couldn't, like, Cam and Mitch couldn't, like, do this during, like, a lunch hour one day when all the big kids are in school.
Yeah, like on, like, a Tuesday or something.
Yeah, like a Tuesday morning. Like, come on. Like, I know that when my nephews go to visit, like, Santa at, like, the mall or the Bass Pro Shop or whatever, it's not, like, peak hours on a Saturday afternoon. It's, like, on a Wednesday afternoon. Or maybe, like, right after lunch when it's, like, nap time. You know what I mean? Like,
nap
it's
time.
not, like... I'm just... And I wouldn't go on Christmas Eve anyways, because shouldn't Santa be off delivering presents all over the world?
Yeah, and the malls close early on Christmas Eve, don't they? It's, like, 4 o'clock or something. Like, everything's shutting down.
Maybe, like, this year they will. But back then, I think we're at the point where everything's kind of ramping up with their extended hours.
Oh, yeah.
On Christmas Eve and Thanksgiving. We're at the start of that.
Oh, okay. This is like peak. Like the mall will stay open to 8 o'clock on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Even Santa will be there.
I don't know. Probably because there's a line of like 50 kids because the parents waited till the last dang minute.
I don't know. Maybe this is just like a lazy town because I feel like not many people would wait till Christmas Eve to take the kids to Santa.
I mean, the thing is, there are people who wait until Christmas Eve to do this. I don't understand it, because it seems stupid to me, but...
What do,
If you wait until Christmas Eve to take your kids to Santa, could you tell us why?
Do we know what Cam and Mitch do for jobs? I don't think I know. I'm just kind of curious if this might impact it.
Mitch is a lawyer.
Okay.
At this point, Cam is like a stay-at-home dad.
Okay, so he's got nothing but time, and maybe Mitch has, like, an office day. He's not in court, and he could have done it.
Like I said, they could have had a lunch.
I'm just picturing... I'm guessing they live in some kind of, like, affluent town, like some LA adjacent suburb. Maybe this is just a town where it's end of the year and a lot of these people are in like finance and stuff, and they got to cook the books and stuff. So maybe there's just like not a lot of time to do this. So everyone's like, oh shit, it's Christmas Eve. We didn't get down to the mall to do like a picture of Joey and Santa. So like we got to go today so we can send a Christmas card to Grandma in January, because like where are they going to send the cards? Like who's going to want these cards in January?
I know, like this. It's just it's the TV thing, because they got to like squeeze all the Christmas stuff into one episode. But they're in line. They're going to be like the next one's up. Santa had to go like take a break, and they come back and it's a different Santa, and it's not like a Christmassy Santa. It's like the homeless drunk guy.
Yeah, and he's skinny.
That came in off the street.
He's a skinny guy.
And like Cam and Mitch like freak out. But because also at the same time, Cam's old Christmas caroling group is wandering the mall singing, and they're like, we're the new green sleeves. There was like a coup to kick him out. So in the middle of the Santa drama and getting like the perfect picture, there's like Cam's like former caroling group. They're disrespecting him.
I love the way it's introduced. So we get this really dramatic, tense moment between Cam, Mitch, and like the mall Santa elf. And then you start in the background, you start hearing like, I don't know, just some Christmas song getting louder and louder. And Cam's like, no. Mitch is like, no, it can't be. It's not them. He's like, no, it is. It is. And he like looks up at the escalator and you see the carolers coming down. And he's like, it's him. It's Andrew, or whatever his name was. We get like a cutaway. It's like it's the previous Christmas, I think, or a previous. I don't know if it's the year before, but it's a previous Christmas.
I think it's the year before.
Okay, and we learn it's the Green Sleevers. It's the caroling group that Cam was a part of for many years. That he was like the leader of. I guess he was like the lead.
I think he probably like started the group from my understanding. And then this dude came along and he wanted all the power, so he like convinced everybody to kick Cameron out.
Yeah, he started this coup. They kicked Cameron out, and then they like reformed as the new Green Sleevers. Did they know Cam was at the mall? Did they like follow him around that day?
No, they didn't know. They didn't know.
I don't know. Well,
but they like see him, and this like sparks them. We're gonna go mess with Cam tonight and carol outside his house. And they're like dressed in the Victorian garb. It's like that kind of group.
Yeah. But they confront Cam at the mall, and it's like a very tense moment between them. And like Mitch is like, all right, let's get out of here. Let's just go. You know what? Who cares? Christmas is canceled to keep up with the theme. Like, who cares about the picture? So they leave. They're in the parking lot. I guess they bought stuff too, because they're like putting stuff in the car.
Yeah, like they did some shopping. But whatever it was they said to the elf about the Santa not being Christmassy got this guy fired. I don't think that's really what got him fired. It was probably like the latest complaint in a long list of complaints from parents.
Yeah. Well, literally, that Santa, like the homeless Santa, he has his beard off, and it's like down under his chin.
Yeah.
So you can like see his face, and I don't know, he probably smelled like gin or something.
Yeah, and I'm sure he is probably like the kind of guy who's not wearing his mask properly in 2020.
If he's still alive, let's be real. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like he's not long for this earth after this.
So I'm pretty sure it's not really them that got him fired, but they think it is because that's just the kind of people they are.
Yeah, and
they freak out. And they feel guilty. And they're like, oh, come home to our house for Christmas Eve dinner. Like, you can't be alone. And it's like, why? Why are you inviting this weird homeless guy into your house?
Well, yeah, because they find out that he lives in like a station wagon. His wife left him. He got this game-changing job at the mall as a Santa. I'm like, this is the last day of work. Even if he didn't get fired, he still wouldn't have a job after today, because there's no Santa on December 26th.
Exactly. Like, dude, it was done anyways.
Yeah, like, if anything, you got off early today.
Yeah.
Like, you lost like a few hours of pay. You lost out like your like $8 an hour gig. You lost out like $32 right now. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
But they invite this guy back to their house just because, you know what, they find out he's homeless. They're gonna give him turkey or a Christmas ham or whatever. Apparently, which is like ready when they get home. Basically, it's just magically ready.
Maybe Cam put it in the crock pot.
Maybe, yeah. They cooked all the sides before.
Like, well, because they do the guy's laundry, too.
And they play games with him, and...
and, like, let him shower or something.
Yeah, it's awkward.
So there's some time. There's some time before, like, that we don't see. So they're probably cooking. There's probably maybe, like, the turkey was in the oven or whatever for a few hours on a low heat, slowly cooking, so they could go out and do all this stuff, but, like, come home and have a nice dinner.
There's a part, though, where... Well, actually, there's, like, several parts where they want to confess to the mall Santa that they think he's the reason why I got fired, because they complained to the mall elf about him being, you know, not the right Santa. But every time, like, they're about to do it, homeless mall Santa shows, like, some sign of craziness. Like, he pulls out a knife and, like, cuts an apple, but it's, like, a hunting knife. And there's just little things, and he talks about, like, how he, you know, he always gets even with his enemies and stuff like that, and he goes to, like, Rage Anonymous or something, and he can't control his temper. Yeah. Just these little things, and so they'll quickly change the subject, and be like, hey, why don't you go do your laundry right now and, like, take a shower? Mm-hmm. And so he's like, all right, that's perfect time, and then we'll have dinner after. Yeah. Mall Santa leaves the room. He must throw his stuff in the washer. Then he's like, I don't know, he's looking for the towels, and that's when Jay decides to come over, because he wanted, like, some semblance of a normal Christmas, and he's like, you know what?
Oh, yeah, because he's dropping off the pajama presents.
Yes, he's like, he shows up, he's like, hey, guys, here's your pajamas, make sure you're in them by 9, because I'm guessing they're going over Jay's house that night.
No, it's not that night. He's like, make sure you open these at 9.
That's it, okay. But it's right at that moment, though. So they're having this heartfelt moment. Homeless mall Santa comes, and he's like half naked, and he's like, all right, guys, let's do this. And Jay is just like, all right, I'm going to go. Like, I was going to chill for like a little bit.
Jay grows a lot over the series. He is definitely an old school kind of guy. And there are times where he doesn't completely understand what's going on with Cam and Mitchell and thinks it's like worst case scenario. Like there's a third guy in the relationship or something. He's like, I can't. Like he just like, I don't know. I don't understand. It's like, I love you, but I just can't understand this. And you see a lot of growth with him throughout as he like accepts and learns and grows with the whole gay son and such.
Yeah. So Jay bounces. He's like, all right, I'm going to the desert to buy fireworks for my new son. So he leaves, and that's when, I don't know, there's like a knock at the door, and, oh no, they don't even knock, they just hear singing. Like they hear like Carolyn outside, and Cam's like, they wouldn't. And Mitch is like trying to like tell him to ignore it, and he's like, no, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna give him my...
They want him riled up.
Yeah, they want to shove it in his face.
That's what this dude wants, is for him to freak out, and that's why they're out in front of his house in the first place.
And Cam's like, that's it, I'm gonna go give him a piece of my mind. But then Mall Santa's like, wait guys, Christmas is about forgiveness. Christmas is about the spirit of joy and the spirit of peace on earth and all this stuff. And he's like, I forgave you guys for getting me fired. He's like, you can forgive the new Greensleevers for kicking you out of the group. And then Cam and Mitch like have this moment kind of thing. Yeah. And they're like, all right, we'll go outside. Yeah. Cam approaches, and he's expected, like, the new Greensleevers are expecting like a blowout, and they're going to get yelled at. And I don't know, maybe someone has like an iPhone 4 and they're going to film it and put it on the Greensleevers Facebook page. Like, old member blows up, like, ignore this guy.
iPhone 4? I'm pretty sure it's like an iPhone first gen.
No, that came out in 07.
Okay, so maybe it's like a 3.
All right, it's probably the 3. It's probably the iPhone 3. We're probably ramping up for the 4. The 4 probably came out in June, because I feel like they always came out in June. It took video. Not as great as it is now, but it took video. But they were going to still tape it, and they were going to put it on like the new Greensleevers Facebook page and be like, if this man ever forms a new group, do not allow him, do not answer the door for him kind of moment. Yeah, like, this is who your neighbor is.
Yeah, that total like kind of thing.
We're at the beginning of cancel culture right here. Like, let's expose.
Yes.
Cameron expose party.
Poor Cameron.
But no, you know what? He was charmed by homeless mall Santa. So he goes out and he's like, oh my God, you guys have a beautiful voice. He's like, thank you for coming. Thank you for blessing our house with Christmas cheer. And they're like mad. Like, the new Greensleevers were like expecting a blowout. Then they start going off. They start kind of going off on Cam and Mitch. And that's when homeless mall Santa's like, hey, leave my new friends alone. And he just clocks Andrew in the face. And then he just takes off. He just takes off and runs away without his laundry, I think, too. He never got his laundry. I wonder if he came back to get it.
Maybe. Probably.
I don't know. I was waiting for, like, a police officer to show up and be like, have you seen this man? He's, like, wanted for murder, and it's the homeless mall Santa, but it never happened.
Yeah, I could see that.
Then we kind of get, like, it's like an end tag scene where I guess it's Christmas Day and the whole family's together, or it's that night. It's sometime later.
I think it's the next day, because we get a shot of the Dunphys. You get the little montage with the voiceover of, like, Christmas morning, everybody in their pajamas opening presents.
Yeah, like, one by one. Yeah, because every episode always ends with, like, a little narration by one of the characters, kind of throwing it all together.
And then it goes to, like, Christmas Day dinner at Jay's house where everybody's together.
Yeah, they gather around the table, cheers in their glasses of wine and apple cider for the kids, kind of thing. And
yeah.
There's a nice Christmas goose on the table, because that's a TV thing, I think. I don't know if it's a goose or not, but I'm assuming.
I mean, at the very least, it's a big turkey.
I don't know. We even get, like, a close, and they show fireworks going off, too, in the sky, and I think that's where the episode ends, and It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Fun little time at the...
Yeah, it was a nice episode. We got, like, 3 different types of Christmases, and...
I'm gonna ask the age-old question, though. You ready for the age-old question? On a scale out of 1 out of 5, new Greensleevers.
4.
A 4? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. It's above average. It's definitely above average. It's almost perfect. And it went by quick. It wasn't, like, painful to sit through it.
Mm-hmm.
It had its moments of humorous lines, a lot of good zingers, a lot of good one-liners.
Yeah.
A lot of character development. Backstory. We get Manny backstory about his times in Colombia as a child and Christmas and slowly building this universe.
Each story has, like, good things in it. They're all decent stories. Like, they could all be plot of a Christmas sitcom episode for, like, any other family sitcom. It could be, like, just that one plot with Cam and Mitch would be an episode of a sitcom somewhere, you know? The same with, like, the Dunphys or with Jay and Gloria and Manny. Like, but you got all 3 of those stories in one for this one family.
Yeah, and I think the show does a good job of balancing the story, like, basically 3 stories every episode.
Yeah.
Sometimes they cross over a lot more than this one. This one didn't have too much crossover.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end. Like, I think, doesn't every episode end with them getting together in some fashion? For the most part?
No, not always. Not always.
But a good majority of episodes, I think, like, they come together and they're...
I mean, there's usually, like, the little montage at the end, though, that maybe it looks like everybody's together, but they're not.
Because I feel like some episodes, they're building up towards them coming together and shenanigans ensue, but they finally get there, but then they realize, hey, like, you know what? Sometimes you need the chaos. Sometimes chaos is what keeps us together. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I think that was, like, the message.
Yeah.
You're going to have, you know what? Like, it's going to be years from now and you're going to look back. Like, remember the year Mom and Dad went crazy and tried to cancel Christmas? It's that kind of thing. Like, that's what the kids are going to remember when they're, in their 30s. They're going to be like, hey, remember that year Dad tried to cancel Christmas and he walked out dragging the tree with one arm? And
yeah, all because the ornament Grandpa and Grandma sent, like, burned a hole in the couch.
Yeah, like, it'll be, like, a thing they laugh about. Like, it might have been crazy hectic this year, but...
It's going to be a memory for later on.
Yeah, it even ties in with the title, like, Undeck the Halls, because, as I said, each storyline kind of had a thing where their Christmas was being ruined by something.
Yeah.
Whether it was literally Christmas being ruined by, not having a picture with the family, with Santa and the carolers ruining Christmas, or traditions, like cultural traditions. So it all came together very well. All came together. Shout out to the writers for thinking of a way to do it. Good times. All right. Anything I'm missing on Undeck the Halls by Modern Family, or Modern Family in general?
No, I don't think so.
All right. I'm excited for next week because the Christmas cavalcade is continuing.
The Holly Jolly Jamboree.
The Holly Jolly Jamboree is still in town for a few more weeks. We got 2 more, I think, right? We got 2 more.
At least.
Next week, we're going back to the movies. Yes, we're going back to the movies. Are you ready for this? Do you know what we're doing next week? Do you have the list in front of you?
I'm ready.
I'm going to let you say it.
I do. I know what we're doing next.
All right. We always try to do a Christmas classic, right? We always try to throw out a classic movie.
Yes, we are doing an American Christmas classic. We are doing one of my absolute favorite Christmas movies, White Christmas, starring Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, Vera Ellen, and Rosemary Clooney.
And where can you follow our wild-ass adventures?
Follow us on Twitter at Very Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr at A Very Special Podcast. Do not accept invitations. You can find us on Patreon and pretty much any app that plays podcasts. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, YouTube, all that great stuff. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, there is like some extra random content that we throw up, so you should check it out.
And as always,
bye!
watch the skies for Jay's fireworks.